Good evening. It is Wednesday, May 20th, and we want to invite you guys to worship with us on our live stream. So even though we're far apart, we can still praise God together online. So yeah, let's start. I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah. Heaven comes to fight for me. King is alive. Come on, will you sing a little louder with us? Sing a little louder. 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 Gonna sing a little louder. Sing a little louder. Gonna sing a little louder. In the presence of my enemies. Gonna sing a little louder. Louder than the unbelief. Gonna sing a little louder. My weapon is a melody. We're gonna sing a little louder. We're gonna sing a little louder. Sing a little louder. I'm gonna sing in the middle of the storm. Louder and louder. You're gonna hear my praises roar. Up from the ashes, hope will arise. Death is defeated. The King is alive. So glad that you have been joining us these past couple Wednesdays as we've been worshiping. This next song we're going to do, you might be familiar with it, you might not. We haven't done it in youth service yet, but it is Waymaker. And the lyrics, they simply go like this: you're the Waymaker, you're the miracle worker, and you're the promise keeper. I don't know about you, but I have been holding on to those words so tightly and so dearly these last few weeks, because amidst all the chaos and amidst all the crazy that is going on in our world and our society and our nation right now, I can hold on to the fact that God, He's my way maker, that God's my promise keeper, that He's my light. And so wherever you're at tonight, I don't know, maybe you've been dealing with some anxiety, some stress, some fear. You know, this is all unknown. This isn't something that we've ever been in before. So wherever you're at, will you just let those words wash over you? Will you just let those words take hold of your life? That you know what, that you're going to worship God and you're going to say, hey, God, you're my way maker. You're my miracle worker. You're my promise keeper. Because just like He's our Waymaker, He's your Waymaker too. So I want to invite you to just sing this with us. If you know it, join in. If you don't, it's super easy. It goes like this: you're the Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You're the Waymaker, my God, that is who you are. Come on, let's sing it one more time. Waymaker, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. 'Cause you're the waymaker, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, and that is who you are, and that is who you are, and that is who you are, oh, that is who you are. Look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. Come on and sing it out. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. Whatever I'm facing, it may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. Whatever goes on, it may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. And this is how I fight my battles. And this is how I fight my battles. And this is how I fight my battles. And this is how. And this is how I fight my battles. And this is how I fight my battles. And this is how I fight my battles. And this is how. 'Cause you're the waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Come on, one more time. Declare it. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
Good evening, Xtreme. Man, it has been forever since I've seen all of you guys face to face and in person. But hey, that's coming soon. On June 3rd, we're going to be back together at 7 o'clock for Xtreme Youth Service. I want to invite you to be there. We want everyone to come back. We'll do all the social distancing. We'll do all those things. But man, I sure want to see you on June the 3rd. Hey, we've been looking at the book of Job, looking at the life of Job. The first question I asked you is, who are you? The second question that we asked was, what about your precious integrity? And then tonight, I want to just look at this. One of the things that's really important to us at Xtreme is friends, family, and then faith. And the next part of the chapter, after Job has suffered physically, he's lost all these things. He lost his camels, he lost his oxen, he lost his sheep, lost his children. His wife tells him to curse God and die. And then all of a sudden, we get here to the end of this moment where his friends show up in his life. I hope over this pandemic you've had friends show up in your life. That's one of the things that we value a whole lot here at Xtreme, is that you have a second family, that you have a second group of people to hang out with and to make yourself at home with. I know we're not doing family groups yet. We're still doing them on Zoom calls. But hey, I want you to know it's super, super important to us. So when I was reading through this, this caught my attention. 3 of Job's friends heard of all the trouble he'd fallen on. His health had deteriorated, his animals had died, his children died. His friends heard about him, so they traveled from their own country, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. Aren't you happy what your parents named you? And they went together to keep Job company and to comfort him. And when they first caught sight of Job, they couldn't believe what they saw. Remember, he'd shaved his head. Remember, he had to have looked like quite a sight. Some of your hair is looking mighty nappy. Some of y'all haven't showered. You need to go shower. Come on now. Some of this quarantine, some of you are like, you haven't shaved. I'm just saying. They show up and they see Job and they're like, oh, Job, what happened to you? But see, they didn't say anything. Have you ever had a conversation going on in your head when you're looking at someone and you're sure happy it's not coming out your mouth? And so they show up. They hardly recognize him. They cried out in lament. They ripped their robes and they dumped dirt on their heads as signs of their grief. And then they sat with him there on the ground. For 7 days and 7 nights, they sat there without saying a word. They could see how rotten he felt and how deeply he was suffering. Can I tell you, in a pandemic, the real you kind of shows up. All this internal stuff kind of bubbles out. And I love these friends that show up. They cry out and they see their friend and he's looking rough. But then they just sit. They are there to comfort him by presence. And can I say this? I know some of you would love to have any friend come near you, come close to you. The closest you've been is on Facebook or on Snapchat or on Instagram or on any platform, Facebook Live, FaceTime, whatever. You've done whatever to be connected. But man, it sure seems like it's really distant. But here's what I want to challenge you with is what kind of friend are you? In a pandemic, make sure you have good friends. When life is really difficult, sometimes the best friends are not the ones who walk in talking first, but sometimes they're the ones who walk in and are just there. I call it the power of presence. Sometimes we just need someone to be present. One of my professors at ORU said it this way: it's incarnational presence. It's like you show up and you're the presence of Jesus showing up with your friends. And I believe that happens every week at Xtreme. That some of you don't have any spiritual bearings at home. You don't have any godly influence anywhere else. And you show up at Xtreme and someone asks you about your spiritual life and asks you how you're doing. And I want you to know tonight, I missed that a bunch of us getting together to do that and to pray together and to worship together. But that's coming soon, June 3rd. But make sure you have good friends. Here's what I know is incarnational presence means that I show up and I'm Jesus to someone with skin on. And you know what, being a youth pastor a long time, I don't always have the words to say when I show up. As a matter of fact, over this pandemic time, I've seen a few people post things that I wish I could show up and give them a hug, but that's not been a possibility. So what do? I pray and I reach out with words. I do what I can do to communicate with them. Listen to this. Sympathy and empathy are very powerful. When you are deeply suffering and you're feeling rotten, who will show up in your life to be there with you? How about this? This is an even better question tonight, as I have just a short time. What kind of friend are you? Do you show up in someone's life in the middle of their pandemic, in the middle of them feeling rotten, in the middle of them having just the worst time? Do you show up? We want to be great friends. People who know when to show up and shut up are very, very valuable. I love these guys. They didn't say anything. They just showed up. And here's what I know. Faith is established when you do godly things instead of worldly things. Godly friends show up when other people are suffering and feeling rotten and feeling down. And I'm going to challenge us tonight as Xtreme as we get ready to come back and be together in just a few weeks here, is that you would continue to reach out to your friends, be a godly friend, show yourself to be friendly, and make a difference. So what kind of friend are you? If you had to evaluate, what kind of friend are you? Sometimes your words are super overrated, but showing up always makes a huge difference. And here's what we believe at Xtreme. If you come here, you're going to find friends. And if you hang out with us somewhere along the way, you're going to become family with us. And then what we know is this, is that somewhere along the way, you're going to find faith in Jesus Christ. I don't know who you are right now. I don't know how you're doing on integrity, but I know this, is that God loves you, and he'll point you out as his friend as he recognizes you in your character following after him. So as I conclude tonight's service and I conclude tonight's message, here's what I'm going to challenge you with this. Will you choose to follow him always? Will you choose to be like Job? Job, over the last couple weeks, he lost everything. What did he do? He said, man, you know what? Doesn't matter about my possessions. I'm going to follow God. And he didn't sin. And then he lost his health. And then what did he do? He said, you know what? I can't affect that, but I'm going to still serve God. So I don't know how you're doing in the middle of all this pandemic, but I'm going to challenge you with this. Would you serve God? And here at Xtreme, we want you to know that you have found a place where you can have faith after you have family and after you have friends. I miss all of you very, very much, and I look forward to the moments we get back together very soon. God bless you all, and have a great night.